All right, we are covering Welcome to Plathville, the season finale of season 7, episode 11, The Reckoning. And this is my girlfriend Emma joining me on camera for the first time. I've got my notes here, so let's go over the episode.
It's really fake and gay.
So we actually returned to Cairo at 10 a.m. the day after the wedding. Zach and Lydia are heading to their European honeymoon. They have not booked a flight home, which is kind of, from what I saw on the Ginger and Jeremy podcast, it's kind of like them. They often do that. I think that they were also going on their Germany trip after, so they weren't kind of sure. I want to know when this man gonna go to work. That's what I want to know.
When is he teaching these tennis lessons?
I want to know I want to see his schedule. You know what I mean? But anyway, they haven't booked a flight home and are kissing it up, which, speaking of, Lydia says the night was very pure and beautiful, meaning the night of the wedding. Zach says there were soul ties and chemical connections.
I was really confused by what he was saying, but...
No, I understood what he was saying. Sorry.
I didn't get it.
So the couple said it was so peaceful with zero drama, and then we cut to the boys, their women, and Kim's powwow over Veronica and the fight. Micah says Veronica needs to change. Veronica is not budging and saying she's not going to change at all, and she is also not really apologizing for, I guess, getting the guys all crazy and pent up, and then also for saying that Tegan has an OnlyFans. She also says that she went with the Tegan OnlyFans theory because she was afraid Micah would cheat with Tegan, which Ethan was very offended about. But Ethan, let's be real. Let's be real with ourselves, you know what I mean? Micah then says he and the whole family blame Veronica for Micah's busted nose. I don't know. I think it's really Micah's fault for his own busted nose. Because why are you bringing her to this wedding knowing, I mean, he had to have known that they're going to have to break up. So he brought her to this wedding. Unless producers said that she had to come. Because, you know, sometimes they have that on the back end.
That's true, that could have happened.
But it's really Micah's fault for bringing her and then getting tensions rising where they were already rising over Zach and Lydia the night before. Also, on another note, I really need Kim to do her eye makeup better. And I know that's a lot coming from somebody who really doesn't do makeup at all, but it's just getting a little ridiculous, and I feel like we need a new technique. So then Micah then breaks up with Veronica with really no pomp and circumstance at all. It's very like quick. He's like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pack up, we're gonna get a bucket, and then we're gonna break up. Anyway, so that would also happen in front of the entire family. Veronica doesn't really react at all. She sheds like a tear maybe like 5 minutes later in the filming, but she doesn't really react to him breaking up with her at all. I think it's very possible that they could also already be broken up at that point. I'm just not sure what the actual timeline events are and then what the like filming of the events are, and if those are the same or different. And then Ethan says that Veronica missed out on a good family, and everyone's like, yeah. But guys, let's really not go too far on that, because two things can be true: that Veronica is kind of crazy, and that this family is also kind of crazy. I don't think that we necessarily can say that Veronica missed out on a good family. Kim says that Veronica will never have a good relationship because she can't trust anyone. Veronica apologizes for hurting Kim, but Kim doesn't really believe the apology. Kim says she doesn't want anything to do with Veronica, and then Veronica's basically like, yeah, same girl. There's like this black screen, and it says that the producers escorted Veronica home, the three boys drove home together, and that Micah was escorted by police to get his things from Boca. So I don't think that you have seen any of like the stuff that Veronica is saying on Reddit. Have you?
I haven't seen, no.
Okay, so she basically says that the guys like showed up at her house, and she had to call the cops because they were trying to steal stuff, like breaking into her house. So I think that TLC was kind of trying to subvert that narrative a little bit. So if you're really confused as to why they had to tell us that people were being escorted by the police, I don't know. So the plan is that Mike is going to move into Isaac's room for the week, and then he's going to return to South Florida to do fencing work. Then we have these scenes where a bunch of people in the family address Veronica's online statements. Ethan specifically addresses an incest statement allegation that Veronica apparently made, and maybe I'm missing something. It's definitely possible she said that. I don't remember her ever talking about incest. I did this like whole rundown video on what she was saying kind of like in the month that she started saying things, and literally it could have been in there and it could have been in my video, but I don't remember her commenting on incest. So then we switch scenes to Kim and Ethan meeting up on the farm. Kim wants him to teach her to smoke a cigar, and then they make a just the tip joke. I don't know why these two have to be so sexual with each other, but it's whatever. Ethan says that he wishes he could have gotten out of his relationship with Olivia as fast as Micah did with Veronica, and he is upset that he's not divorced yet. But it's like, damn, girl, like, it's just weird. Anyway, Kim answers a FaceTime from the newlyweds. Ethan asks how the deed went down, and the couple really just ignores the question, or maybe the service was bad, but I think they just ignored the question. Ethan then catches the couple up on the breakup and the big fight. Ethan tells Zach to fill the croissants with cream, and then Zach says, yes, sir. But Ethan, I thought that he was gay like 3 days ago, but whatever.
It's too much.
Yeah. So then we skip forward a month later, and Kim and Barry are meeting up, but so are Ethan and Olivia. But we're going to start off with Kim and Barry, who met up. So they officially got divorced. I would say that this is being filmed, it says like a month from the wedding, so I guess in March. It says that they're officially divorced after going to mediation. After they went to mediation, it happened all kind of like the same day. They're meeting for wine foreclosure. This is obviously a filming obligation. They wouldn't be doing this without cameras. And it also seemed very short. Kim asked Barry to buy her a bottle of wine. Unless he's too stingy, then she'll take a glass. Girl, I really think that she might have a drinking problem. Obviously, she has the DUI under her belt. But just this season, like, she finally addresses her DUI after years of not addressing it on the show, and then she's over here drinking, like, asking her ex-husband for a whole bottle of wine. It's just kind of weird. So then Kim says that she wants the boys to build on the family land. Barry seems quite skeptical, which so am I, because they obviously at times don't really get along. Like, they have their little moments. It might not be the best idea to all hang out like they did when they were little, because look how this all turned out. And then they start talking shit about Olivia for some reason. I don't know. Maybe the producers asked them to talk shit about Olivia, but it was just very odd. And then Barry leaves, but before he leaves, Kim says, so did you buy me that bottle of wine? And says, yeah. Barry says, yeah, it's waiting for you behind the counter. And then and then Kim goes to the lady at the counter and says, I believe you have a bottle of wine for me.
And the lady at the counter's like
looking around, and then we find out that Barry lied to Kim about buying her a bottle of wine.
Girl,
that is so funny, because I feel like Kim's crazy as fuck, but she was really the voice of reason this season in a lot of scenes. So the fact that Barry got one little thing in on her is just hilarious. But that was pretty much their meeting. Let's flip to Ethan and Olivia. So Olivia was shooting a wedding in Georgia, and Ethan reached out to talk. She hasn't spoken to Ethan since she was trying to get Ethan to fill out paperwork in Minnesota, which I would assume was at least over a year before, but I don't know the timeline on that. Please note that Olivia says that he filled out the paperwork incorrectly. She's obviously also just there for filming obligations. So Olivia explains that Ethan begged her to get divorced ASAP after dragging his feet for over a year, then posted his new girlfriend on that same day. And so that was in January of 2025 when he posted that girlfriend. So that's like 2 months after, 2 months after is this meeting. So Ethan and Olivia had agreed to meet at this hotel at 4. He doesn't arrive until 6, smiling real wide, but then he gets real tough when she's in eye shot, and he like shakes her hand kind of aggressively. Ethan asks when they can finalize. Olivia says now. Ethan says it is false that he filled things out incorrectly, and that actually it was Olivia who didn't want to put her financial information out. Olivia says she halted in January when he requested to get divorced ASAP due to tax season and being overseas. Ethan gets real stern and says he wants the divorce now. Olivia says to be polite since he made her wait a year and a half before he reached out in January. He then asks her to stop slandering him and his family. She says no, it isn't slander and it was her life and she should be able to speak on it. In the talking head, Ethan says she's a liar like Veronica, which girl bye. Like, it's a very different situation. I know that people have different feelings about Olivia, and maybe she's like, things are coming from her perspective. They might be a little exaggerated. Of course, there's two sides to every story. But I don't think that you can say that it's like Veronica, who blatantly just like says whatever she wants. And I also do feel like while Olivia does want to consider her own, like, I guess, religious trauma and like family dynamic trauma and wants to protect herself while dealing with things, she also tries to deal with it the best she can. Veronica just comes in guns a-blazing. Like, Olivia is a little bit more classy with it. Just for so many reasons, I don't think that you can say that Olivia is just a liar just like Veronica. I just think that's ridiculous, and you lose credibility when you say stuff like that. Olivia then says they feel free to talk about her. I would also like to know specifically what Ethan considers slander that Olivia has posted. And also another note, she says like they feel free to talk about her. Yes. So one of these episode recaps I did, they as a family mentioned her in 7 different conversations just on a singular episode. A 40-minute episode, that's kind of crazy.
They can keep her name out of their mouth. I mean, come on.
Okay, so then Olivia was like, yeah, I'm not gonna stop talking about my experience. It was 10 years of my life, whatever. And then Ethan says, do whatever you want, and then leaves. And then we leave it there. It was very interesting to see Olivia and Ethan spar one last time. Obviously now Olivia won't be filmed for the next season. I don't think Veronica will be, obviously with her calling out production. I think they're just gonna let her go as well. So next season, and if you believe for Olivia, the Plaths will take any season given to them. So I guess Zach is going to have to carry the show on his entire back. I don't know. All right, that was Welcome to Plathville, season 7. I'll see you next week, but not with a Plathville episode. Bye-bye.
Just it's really fake and gay. And I am actually an expert on all matters that are fake and gay.